Hi, Margaret Donahoe, Director of the Minnesota Transportation Alliance. We're out here in Washington, D.C. for our annual fly-in, and we have over 85 members of our organization from around the states. And we're out here talking to the Minnesota delegation about transportation funding through appropriations, and also talking about the reauthorization of the Surface Transportation Act. So we really appreciate everybody being out here and the opportunity to meet with our congressional members, and we hope that you can join us sometime in the future. Thanks.
Well, thank you so much, Margaret. It is great to see all of you. This is a really precious tradition for me to have a chance to come together with all of you. I think particularly because when I was, Lieutenant Governor, and then before that, the Chief of Staff to the Governor, we worked on so many transportation issues together at the state level. And one of the things that I miss the most about being in the Senate is that I'm in Washington half the time. So I just don't get as much chance to see everyone and be with you as much as I was able to when I was back in Minnesota.
The point is, this is what matters to people right now, the bread and butter stuff. And so we're just simply trying to get some normal things in place that used to be normal to try to make sure that the money we put out there gets spent the way we say. That's all right under the Constitution. So we'll see what happens. There could be, maybe we get enough to have some kind of delay for 30 days, 40 days, so that we can then finish the bills. In the Senate, we actually negotiated 3 of the bills, including agriculture, and voted on them and passed them, of the budget bills.
But it's really easy for someone to say, oh, I'm really busy with this and I got to do whatever, when they don't see your face. They know what the issue is, but it's this important that you are here, you are sitting in front of the member, you are telling them why this is not only important to you and the constituents you represent, but it's important to him or her. And it's just, it's beautiful. It's, we have our Republican Democrat thing all the time when we debate ideas. But people don't realize that we actually build friendships off these things.
That we like each other.
Yeah. Don't you tell anybody. I got a tough enough time getting votes. Don't let anybody know. And look, it doesn't matter. Whether you agree or disagree with someone on their policies, it is not acceptable to use it as an excuse to be negative. And yes, Betty and I can disagree, but it's pretty amazing in the Minnesota delegation how we work together extremely well. We know what's important at home, and our constituents, yeah, they want to have that fight too. I'm a Republican, you're a Democrat, I'm not, whatever. But at the end of the day, they want us to get stuff done. And some of the biggest is what you're here for. The surface transportation bill is currently in process. I know a lot of you are plugging in. That's why it's timely that you're here. I'm really proud of the work that we've done in the short time that I've been here. I'm glad you're here. I'm keeping Betty waiting too long because I know she's extremely busy as well. We both are glad that you're here, and we hope that you have a very productive visit. I think for me, counting votes, you make a difference. You just make sure you emphasize where things are at. It will help us when we go to close the final board.
Was a bridge that got funded through the state of Minnesota. And so I understand, I think better than anybody, that relationship between the federal, the state, the local, and of course, great organizations like yours in order to make sure we continue to move our state forward. And so that's what you should expect from me as the member of Congress from the 2nd District. It's what you should expect from me if I'm doing something else in the future. Gotta say that. Just gotta do it. Gotta do it. I hope you see that despite the partisanship that seems to really be a critical problem in our nation, that if we were in the room right now with my 4 Republican colleagues, I would work with them every step of the way for what's right for Minnesota. And so it was an honor to serve on the Transportation and Infrastructure Committee. So again, I appreciate the opportunity to stop by, say hello, be the closer, and give me a hard time if you want when you're in my office later. So thank you.
And in this moment, we need to be able to come together in community, connect with one another, and be reminded that there is more that unites us than divides us. Our transportation system obviously also drives economic growth, enabling the movement of goods and cargo, ensuring access to the many great destinations that Minnesota has to offer, and supports our small businesses that keep Main Street alive. I've enjoyed meeting with so many Minnesotans back home and here, and I look forward to meeting more of you in the days to come during your time here. Please know that I will continue to advocate for a safer, well-funded transportation system for Minnesota, and I appreciate you all taking the time to come out to Washington to advocate for these important issues. Thank you so much, and I'll see some of you later.
Well, as Tom said, thank you for all for coming to Washington and being such strong advocates for transportation. Some of you, I won't point people out in the room, I've known since I was a state rep and you used to come and lobby me. And now it's just wonderful to have the week when you're here for here. I was really proud to vote for the bipartisan infrastructure law. It delivered trillions of investment dollars. It was the largest bridge funding investment. It's also a historic investment in public transit. And we've had some challenges with public transit in the Twin Cities, and COVID didn't help. So we have to come up with some alternative ways to get the workforce to and from work, people to and from hospitals, homes, and the rest. So I want to thank many of you in the room who helped work on the Gold Line, which I think is going to be a gold standard. How do we build, how do we move people, and how do we do things? And to underline the congestion challenge that we had, Washington and Ramsey County and myself and others really had to lobby MnDOT to give us just a little bit of sliver to put this rapid bus transit on. And without working with MnDOT, we wouldn't have been able to do it. So we need to work together on this because we need farm to market, and we also need getting other product to market. So the Department of Transportation is reevaluating grants. Well, they have no business reevaluating the grants. And it's not because it's the Trump administration. I want to be perfectly clear. I'm an appropriator. We are Article 1 in the Constitution. And it says when we appropriate money for your needs, and the bill is conferenced between the House and the Senate, and it is signed by the President, it is the law of the United States. The Office of Budget and Management under a new administration has no business, no constitutional right, and no legal standing to be reviewing all your grants. They are the law. And that is what that letter is about, and that is what Tom and some of the Republicans are working on in a different venue, having the conversations with the Trump administration. I respect that. But that is the law of the land. Because when we don't get these critical investments done on time, roads, bridges, public transit, and things stall, things just become more expensive and your economic development and quality of life are stalled as well. So we cannot afford these grants to just be sitting over there. So I want you to know, we as a delegation, both Democrats and Republicans are fighting back on this, but we have different ways in which we approach how we're doing it. I have to use the venue that's most open to me. Let me just give you a picture of what these grants are for our state. It's $142 million that has been signed into law to come to Minnesota, that we pay tax, we're a tax dollar donor state, that we have coming back to us. So we don't want these funds locked up, we want them unlocked, we want them out to you. You know what to do with them. It's already been through the test of public hearings and everything else. These are good things.